Hello everyone, it's Scott, and welcome back to another episode of Regrowth. Well, I'm at the ocean, and as you saw, I am currently wearing diving equipment from Mariculture, and the reason I'm doing this is to work through what the world enables. This quest, Big Daddy. So I was able to make diving equipment, diving helmet, boots. I upgraded diving air supply and an air pump, and at this point I need to actually do diving and see if I can find ancient sand and coral rock. And I have in my possession a water breathing potion that I got from my water breathing seed. So the water breathing petal plus a water bottle plus an extreme essence gives me a 25-minute water breathing potion. So I'm going to chow that down. And at this point I can pretty much do whatever I want, wherever I want, and I'm not going to run out of air. So let me get a pick here, my Manulin Silk Touch. And what I'm looking for is some sand and a coral. It's very hard to see, unfortunately, but I'll try to stay near the surface for now. So what I'm looking for is like a coral outcropping. So I think what it would look like is like little underwater flowers, for lack of a better term. And then the other thing I'm looking for is the ancient sand, which I think is just sand deposits way on the bottom of the water. So let me head over here and see if I can adjust the Wallaby. If I hit the number key 0, I should be able to adjust whether or not I see through liquid. So let's try hidden and going back. And so if I go under the water, yes, so now it's actually showing me the block and not just that I'm looking at water. Great. So let's see if I can head down to the bottom and see if I can detect ancient sand. Not regular sand. Alright, I'm going to swim around for a bit and see if I can find items of interest. Like this pearl oyster. Alright, here I am. I found a little bit of ancient sand here at the bottom, which must be collected with a shovel. Fortunately, I have the my Manulin upgraded shovel in my white backpack that with all my rarely used tools. But fortunately, this is enough to get me going. So now all I need next is the coral, and I should be complete. Alright, so it looks like I found my coral. I am like really far away from the base at this point. And we got some sponges too. Let's see how much of this I can grab. Coral rock requires a pickaxe. Okay, great. So let me grab a couple pieces of this. And I'm not sure. Alright, well it looks like I can pick up the coral itself, dried brain coral. So this is another source of dye. And coral will spread on coral rock. And I was reading that you could basically grow your own dye source here. I can do that already with all my flowers and the flower petals and everything. So this should be enough for me to cash in the quest. So with all of that, I'm gonna have another detection quest of a bottle of natural gas. So we spotted small bubbles escaping from the spots of the ocean floor. If you dig down, you should find a pocket of healthy, highly flammable gas. And Bottles made from this heat-resistant glass produce ancient sand are a good way to store and use this gas. Okay, well that sounds like something I'm going to need to get by returning to the surface. So let me, let's see, I have 11 minutes left, so let me head back to the base and see if I can, well, grab a couple of these sponges first. So I'll head back to the base and see if I can whip up some of that glass from the ancient sand. Alright, I'm back, and what I need to do is burn the ancient sand down in the furnace in order to create hardened glass. Now, the hardened glass here, heat-resistant glass rather, is what I'm going to need to make these empty bottles. And so these Mariculture bottles are going to be, well, they hold twice the volume of a normal glass bottle, and more importantly, they are what I need in order to build, in order to capture the natural gas that I have bubbling at the bottom of the bay. So let's go back and create another small. Let me go back and get the bottle actually, and then I will make another small breathing potion and head back down underwater, see if I can find the natural gas. Now there is one other spot on the edge of my base over here that I seem to remember where I had caught, I think there's a sand block around here somewhere. Yep, here we go, gas leak. And I'm wondering if I can just right click this gas leak. No, I cannot. I'm back, and back underwater, and here we are at a gas leak, and I had to go back and make another 25. I totally used up a 5-minute water breathing potion, and ended up just spending the money and getting another 25-minute potion. And according to the directions, what I'm going to need to do is dig down underneath this gas leak, and it says that eventually I should hit a air pocket, and at that point I have no idea how far down I have to go, but hopefully not too far down. But it says that I should enter an area where I have mining fatigue and all sorts of problems, and I have to be very careful not to light any torches in this area. Yep, here we go. Whoops, and there's a devil dog. Great. Okay. Did not expect that, but okay. Okay, so this thing is slowly killing me. I was poisoned for a second, and I'm going to assume that the natural gas is here in this room. So, according to directions, yep, weakness, nausea, blah blah blah. I'm going to have to set up my air pump with a redstone mode. Let's make sure I have enough space to work with here. And what we're going to do is set up the air pump, give it a redstone signal, then place down a fluid tank for the air pump to pump into. And if I power this, what this should do, awesome, is fill up with natural gas. Great. Now, I don't know how much natural gas I'm going to need, but let's assume I grab at least one. Yep, I only got one, so let's put that back down. Grab an empty bottle's worth. And now I have a bottle of natural gas. Okay, so each one is going to be 2 buckets worth. And let's fill this guy up just in case. Yep. And gather up all my stuff and head back to the surface. Okay, now that I'm back in the base and back in my regular armor, I'm going to cash in the quest for the bottle of natural gas. That's going to give me what looks like 2 more tanks of natural gas, some pearls, and a lot of limestone. And this appears to have opened up another item: air compressor base, air compressor top, and a scuba tank. So this will give some mobile diving equipment, and will return rutile and limestone. So apparently an air compressor will allow you to carry a tank of air with me and stay underwater for long periods of time. So I'm not going to need the water-breathing seeds anymore. While I'm doing that, I had prepped for some alternative quests here. So in the compartment here, I had prepped for building a squeezer. So over here, the forestry squeezer is just going to be tin, glass, and a casing. And what that will give me is an item that will basically transform fruits and foods into canned fruits and foods. So, and it also, well, does stuff with bees. That's really the main thing. And so this is going to get me an apple and a juice can. Fruit or honey will basically package it up into solid items instead of being treated as a liquid. And also, I want to work on making these tanks. So fueling tank is basically a alternative item storage system. And so I've gotten the glass, the iron plate, essentially ready. So let's take a look at that. So the iron tanks are a multi-block from Railcraft that if I'm going to make the minimum size, and I kind of prepped over here for that, I'm guessing a 3x3x3 would be sufficient. Looks like I'm going to need valves to get liquids in and out. I need to be able to create a edge casing, and then the gauge lets me see how full the tank actually is. So looks like, well, this is actually going to need to be, let's see, at least 3 wide by 4 tall. And okay, so essentially I'm going to need at least 36 minus 1 minus 2 of these. So 33 iron tanks, which are pretty easily made from just iron plate. So 4 iron plate is going to give me 8 walls. So I can very easily make 40 walls. And then I'm going to need to make at least 2, well, actually, yeah, so just 1 cache in here. Let's make some glass pane and then work our way back with the NEI here. We'll get 8 iron gauge, and then let's also get the iron tank valve here. And that should be enough for us to, let me just dump off some stuff here. That should be enough for us to get going. So I'm going to have to build this up 1 more level. Whoops. Which means I'm also going to have to clean up the outside. So let's also build down 1 level just for kicks. and iron tank wall. So let's put in here. Let's make the top here. Let's fill in the back side and the side walls. And lastly, we're going to need a valve. So let's well, just place it right here. So let's make this block be the valve, and then we'll fill this in here. Did that work? No? Okay. Maybe I can't put the valve on the edge. So let's flip the position of these two. And there we go. I saw a multi-block transformation. So now we have the ability to basically load fluids into this tank. Wow. And so 4 tall is going to hold 720,000. And yikes. So I'm going to handle it like this. So let's put the fluid pipe here, the extraction pipe, and is that going to work? No, let's put the extraction pipe up here, and then I'm just going to need one more piece of fluid pipe. Where do I keep my pipes these days? Okay, so let's get a cobblestone fluid pipe. Good enough for now. I'll have to find where oh, here's the golden fluid pipes. Okay, let's work with that one instead. So let's place this over here. And I'm going to need to put in a pump here in order to fill this tank. So let me make a quick cut and I'll go do that. Alright, I'm back, and let's give this guy a go. So turning that on should activate the engine, which should begin pumping fluid out and into the tank. Yes, creosote oil. Awesome. Hopefully I can drain the 15 buckets here and the 16 buckets in the tank, and that will, yes, definitely fit inside the 720 bucket tank. So let's check in on that quest and claim the reward. Alright, so now I basically want to do the exact same thing with steel. So steel to resolve is going to get steel tank, steel gauge, steel valve. So let's hook that up with a steel tank wall. Grab one of these. Steel tank gauge is just the same thing with glass pane. And lastly, the steel tank valve is just going to be the same thing with a lever. And that should finish me off. Great. Now another easy one appears to be this fueling your progression, which is a refinery. And so this is what's going to take oil and turn it into a usable substance. So the refinery is a very simple item. I just needed to reclaim my tanks here now that the creosote is excavated. So let's get that crafted up. Here we go. Refine and redefine. Cool. And so next, I'm going to need to power this and produce a fuel bucket. So that means I'm going to have to go back and get that oil bucket figure out where I hit it. Here it is. I don't know why I left it down here, but now I did make some changes to my machine room. I placed down the assembly table and the 3 lasers that I got from the quest reward. I put down kinesis pipe, but I haven't fired it up yet. I'm going to wait to do that on camera. But one thing I do want to do is find a spot where I can put this. Alright, so let's get rid of this, and let's put the refinery down and see what it takes to activate. So that's going to draw RF power. Can I place in... Oh, I can place an oil bucket. Okay, cool. Yes, no? No, it doesn't actually seem to be doing anything. Still powering up, though. Okay, right-clicking the oil in appears to be doing something. Okay. So, it looks like oil and oil produces fuel oil. And looks like I'm just going to have to wait this guy out because... So 1 bucket of oil, I'm down to 800 now, and it's only converted to about roughly 200 millibuckets of fuel. So this is definitely going to take a while. So while that's ticking, let's figure out what I can do next in the next quest. So let's take a look at under pressure. And this looks like another variation of the steam boiler. So, except in this case, we're going to have a liquid fueled boiler. So, high pressure boiler tanks, liquid fueled boiler, liquid fueled firebox rather. So, let's head back up and figure out what I need to do. I'm assuming it's going to need a lot of iron, but let's take a look. Liquid fueled firebox. It's going to require 1 more fire charge, a furnace, some steel plate, which I fortunately have 8 more. So, do I have any more fire charges left over? Yes. Do I have any more furnaces left over? Apparently over here. Yes. So, I think I'm actually almost ready to go. There we go. 1 liquid fuel firebox. Next is the high pressure tank. And that's just 2 pieces of steel plate. Great. And the last item I need, an industrial steam engine. So the industrial steam engine is sort of an upgrade to, oh dear, I'm going to need more steel. An upgrade to the commercial steam engine. It uses twice the steam and produces twice the RF in 1 block. There we go. Let's grab 1 piston and let's create a little bit more steel plate. So press that down, click. There we go. And let's head back up and see if we can craft that industrial generator, the industrial steam generator. So, from here, I'm going to need 1 more piece of redstone and 1 more iron gear. Do I have any iron gears? No. So let's work on what it would take to craft a new one. So, I think I have enough sticks. And then let's make a stone gear. Which is going to be cobblestone, not stone. Let's try this again. Then a iron. And that should be everything. Whoops. Steel gear. Okay. Well, number one, it helps to read the directions. Alright, let's try this again. So let's take tin gear bushings and surround them with steel ingots. And that should create the steel gears that I need for finishing the industrial steam engine. So here we go, industrial steam engine. And that should finish this off for some additional quest rewards. It's been a while, so let's check back on the refinery, and we can see in the whaler that we now have 1 bucket worth of fuel. So I think that nope, none of this is going to work. So let's go back and see if we can find. Yep, let's grab a fluid tank and see if this will auto eject into the fluid tank if it's available, or if I have to specifically go and make a. No, I'm gonna have to make a pump, I think, to get this out. Yeah, because it's not accepting a bucket, and so let me quick do that. Okay, let's see if this works. So let's turn on the pumper and attach a fluid tank. Yep, there we go. So a fluid extraction does get the item out, and so there we go. 1 bucket worth of fuel in the fluid tank, and a right click. Whoa! Okay, that was kind of weird. So a single right click should transfer that to the fuel bucket, and there we go. Now I have what? Oh dear. Alright, well, I'll replant the seeds, but I have 1 fuel bucket. So that should give us a couple more fluid tanks and a couple more refineries, and done. Okay, I'm back, and let's take a look at the next quest in the tree. Let's do 42 Wallaby Way, which looks like we're here to make pieces of the scuba tank and air compressor. So I've prepped a couple of these here in the compartment. So the scuba tank is basically a portable air source, and let's whip one of those up. And so the air compressor will fill the scuba tank with air, so that way I can stay underwater for long periods of time. So let's get the air compressor. Great, air compressor base. I should have everything here. Yep, sheets of aluminum and titanium ingots. And the only odd thing is the wheel, which is basically just iron and a wood slab. So that's pretty easy to make. And ta-da! And then the last piece is the air compressor top. And a lot of these are pretty standard pieces of equipment. The only one that kind of stands out for me is the titanium battery. I haven't used that yet. I'm not sure if that's just something. Is this a placeable block? No. Okay, so it's inventory only RF storage. So I imagine that things like the charger and other devices can put RF into that. But in this case, I'm just going to use it to, and it's probably an issue with the damage factor. Cooling component goes up here, followed by 3 sheets of aluminum here, and that should be enough to make an air compressor top. Great. And that should be, nope, I need an air compressor base. I need 1 more air compressor base. So titanium, more sheets, Do I have more sheets? Yes. Okay. But I don't have enough titanium. Let's take a quick look. And I don't have another one of those wheels, so let's make one of those up quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. And like so. For a couple more iron wheels. And I think I have titanium over here. Yep. Let's grab a couple more pieces. I've been burning down a lot of the ore in the smeltery. So I've kind of been running out of space over here. You can see that I'm in the 50s in my stack and a couple of 60s here. And so you see I've run out of fertilizer, and the only thing that can make that is saltpeter, and I don't have a good source of that unless I go to the nether and gather it up. And there's a way to craft it, but I don't have the equipping yet to finish it off. So let's take a quick peek at the quest book. And we see that that's opened up another crafting task, flippers, wetsuits, and scuba mask. So let's take a look over here. So a little more complicated. Plastic lens are going to be neoprene. Ooh, and transparent plastic. Neoprene is going to need a lot of pearls. So that means I'm going to need to do a lot of diving in order to get this to work. Alright, since I'm not going to get that neoprene done anytime soon, I'm going to try to get the fermenter complete. So if we move to the next piece under fermentation, we're able to decay biomatter into another kind of fuel, biogas, and then burn it in a biogas engine. So in order to do that, I need another sturdy casing as well as a whole bunch of bronze gears. So let's whip up another casing here. Great, we'll grab one. And then head back up to the crafting area, and I'm going to need to grab a lot more glass as soon as I remember where I put it. Okay, let's grab a stack here. I'm going to need some gears. So iron gear. I don't know if... Let's see, the bronze gear requires stone gears, which means I'm back to cobblestone and wood gears and sticks. So let's head back a level. Let's grab a bunch of wood and a bunch of cobble. Great. And let's craft up a couple of those. So grab some sticks and put them in this configuration. Great. Then followed by cobblestone, followed by bronze. There we go, bronze gear. Awesome. And that should be everything I need to make the fermenter. Wonderful. So next I'm going to need a biogas engine. So that's just bronze, a piece of redstone, another piston, and 2 more bronze gears. So let's go and grab a piston out of our auto crafter. And bing. Oh, missing cobblestone, of course. Throw that in. There we go. And let's head back and make 2 more bronze gears. And done. And that should be everything we need for the biogas engine. Done. And that's going to open up this last piece, not for drinking, which is a still. So this will turn it into ethanol. And I think I actually need that ethanol to create the neoprene or the hard plastic. And so this is going to be one more sturdy casing, 4 more pieces of glass. And I should have probably just let that sturdy casing run, but let's whip up one more of those over here in the rolling mill. And done. And let's head over here and finish that off. And if my calculations are correct, what this should do is get me up to a magic number of 71 reputation in the Mechanist faction. So what that is supposed to do is in the What the World is Built From quest tree, that should open up Certus. Awesome. And so that is how we're going to get our Certus seed. So what I'm going to need to do is get a lot of everything. So I think this is pretty cool. So I've just demonstrated how to unlock it, but I'm going to hold off on cashing in on the quest until next episode. Alright, so with that, I'm going to call this an episode. So I would say that was pretty successful. Of course, I've been saying that a lot lately, but I was able to go through and do a lot of diving and work through the Mechanist quest line and open up the one item that's now going to lead to the AE2 system. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to do a quick review at the beginning of next episode again, and then it's off to the races in AE2. So with that, please leave a comment or a like. Let me know how I'm doing, and I will see you next time in Regrowth. Bye!